All right, let's talk about the invisible engine that powers pretty much everything, from your favorite coffee shop's inventory right up to the global financial markets. We're going to look at a process that takes total chaos and turns it into crystal clear clarity. Let's get into it. So, I want to start with a little puzzle for you. What on earth could a messy pile of paper receipts have in common with that nonstop, massive stream of data from financial markets all over the world? I mean, they seem like they're from completely different planets, right? Well, as they are right now, they're both just noise. That's the secret. They are raw, unprocessed data, just a jumble of numbers and words that don't really mean anything yet. The real magic happens when you translate that noise into a signal you can actually use. And that's where the hero of our story steps in: data processing. This is the engine we were talking about. It's the system that takes all that chaos, all those raw facts, and methodically turns them into something clear, useful, and honestly, pretty powerful. Okay, so the official textbook definition is the systematic performance of operations upon data to transform it. Yeah, a bit dry. A much better way to think about it, it's the recipe that turns a random pile of ingredients into a delicious finished meal. And this brings us to a really, really crucial distinction. You've got data on one side, that's just your raw ingredients, the flour, the eggs, the sugar. It's pure potential. And then you have information. That's the finished cake. It's structured, it's meaningful, and it's ready to serve. And data processing? Well, that's the whole act of baking. So how does this transformation actually work? What's the real journey that a raw fact takes to become a powerful insight? Let's break down the whole cycle, step by step. So this journey follows a really logical path called the data processing cycle. It kicks off with collection and it kind of ends with feedback. But here's the thing, it's not a straight line. It's actually a continuous loop that's always refining and getting better. First things first, you need the ingredients, right? So collection is all about gathering those receipts, and input is the part where you get them into the system. That could be scanning a barcode or just typing numbers into a spreadsheet. You're basically getting everything into the kitchen. Okay, next up is where the real magic happens, the processing stage. This is where a computer starts doing the heavy lifting. It's calculating your totals, it's sorting sales by product, it's averaging out costs. And once all that valuable stuff is processed, it gets saved securely for later, maybe in a database or in the cloud. That's your storage. But what's the point of doing all this work if nobody can actually use it? That's where output and distribution come in. The processed data gets turned into a format that a human can actually read and understand, like a chart, a report, a cool dashboard, and then it gets sent to the people who need it. Think of a manager getting that daily sales report in their email. All right, let's zoom out for a second and look at the bigger picture. This whole process, it's not new, not at all, but man, has it evolved. The core idea has been around for centuries, but the tools we use today have changed absolutely everything. I mean, we started with manual processing. We're talking about accountants literally writing everything down by hand in these giant ledger books. Then we got a little help from mechanical processing, with calculators and typewriters making things a bit faster. And today, of course, we're deep in the age of electronic processing, where software can do billions of calculations in the blink of an eye. Now, even within our modern electronic world, there are different ways of doing things. The two big ones you'll hear about are batch and real-time. So batch processing is kind of like doing all your laundry on Sunday. You collect a bunch of data and process it all in one big group, like a company running payroll once a month. Real-time processing, on the other hand, is instant. Think about using an ATM. The second you take out cash, the whole system processes that transaction immediately. So we've covered the what and the how. But let's get to the most important question, right? Why does any of this matter so much? Well, because data processing isn't just some techie task. It is the invisible engine that powers almost every single decision made in our modern world. The benefits here are just immense. It makes sure that the information we use is accurate and reliable. It saves an unbelievable amount of time and effort by automating all those tedious tasks. And at the end of the day, it lets businesses and even us as individuals make faster, smarter decisions that are based on actual evidence instead of just a gut feeling. But of course, it's not perfect. There are some real challenges to think about. Setting these systems up in the first place can be super expensive. They're completely dependent on technology and, a steady supply of electricity. There's always the risk of a data breach or a system just crashing. And, this is a big one, you need skilled people to build, manage, and actually understand what these systems are telling you. And this quote just brings it all home. Data processing is the foundation of all information systems. When you really think about it, everything from your banking app to a global shipping network is built on this one core principle. It really is the foundation that makes our entire information age possible. So I'll leave you with one final and I think really crucial thought. We are creating more data every single second than at any other time in history. So as this absolute flood of raw data just keeps growing, the big question becomes, who gets to decide what's processed? Who gets to define what actually counts as useful information? The answers to that are going to fundamentally shape our future.